Welcome to Let's Share, hosted by me, Leigh Byers, president and founder of Humanity Ministry, a faith-based nonprofit that promotes the human interaction of sharing what we have and expressing what we need. The guests in the podcast are the people who I have connection stories with and have something meaningful to share in their communities of connection. Thank you for listening. Let's share. I am so honored to have this wonderful person from Habitat for Humanity here in Ocala, although it's a global organization. I get to talk to somebody here, and she's going to introduce herself right now. So welcome, Lauren.
Hello, and thank you so much for having me on. I was so excited when you invited Habitat for Humanity of Marion County to be a part of your podcast. My name is Lauren Lewis. I'm the Development Special Events Manager here. I started not too long ago. I've been here for about 3 months, but in those 3 months, I've learned so much more about this organization and its mission.
Well, that's wonderful, and thank you so much for jumping into something that is such a big deal for many, many people that really need a great place to live and may not have all the capacity to do it in the real estate culture that we're in right now. And I would love to just have you share some things that are related to how were you inspired to get involved with this organization to begin with?
I was planning my move down to Ocala, Florida. I moved out here from Oregon and I started
Oh,
looking online. Yeah, big move. And I started looking online for jobs and I'm applying for different places. And I've worked a lot in the corporate sphere over the years. And when I saw Habitat for Humanity, I was like, now that's a job that I could hang my hat up on the at the end of the day, that I would feel good about. I'm just not just selling things to people that they need or spend your extra money on this and do this and go here and buy that. I was like, this is giving back to our community and facing a huge crisis that we have in our country, around the world, and that's affordable housing. Just housing in general right now, we're seeing shortages and things like that. So when I saw that this was available, I hopped on it and crossed my fingers, and here I am.
and welcome. And just, I always like to share things that are coincidental. My husband and his
Mhm.
family were from Oregon, and he's still got a lot of his siblings out there. So we go out there
Are you serious?
occasionally. Dental that
Where?
we're having this conversation, and you're from Oregon.
Yes. Beautiful out there. I just couldn't do the
It
winters
is.
anymore. So, and I'm coincidentally originally from Fort Lauderdale area. So,
Oh,
way down
wow.
south. Yeah.
Well, then you
So
know
we have
that
a couple
Miami
of
was one of my places for 28 years, so I can totally relate to that too. It's interesting. What a coincidence.
I know, lots of geographical things happening that we both share in on. I think that's wonderful.
Coincidences are God's little miracles.
I really love that. I think that's wonderful.
Yes.
Serendipity. Now here
Um,
we are getting to chat in Marion County, all about Marion County, and I think it's great. I've really enjoyed living here. I visited Central Florida many times, but I've never lived here. And it's just a really beautiful area with really great people. So tying that all back into being a part of Habitat for Humanity and really getting to be involved in the community here has been incredible. I've met so many people in 3 months. If I had never been in this position, I don't think I would have met a fraction of these people that I've met, because when they say that it takes a village, it really does, especially in what we're doing. From corporations that have money that they would like to donate to us, perhaps people that have land that they'd like to donate to us, to the volunteers that literally come help put the nails into the homes that we have for people. It's just every walk of life comes together in Marion County for Habitat, and it's a really incredible thing to see.
it is wonderful for you to be here and to really see the big picture of the opportunity of networking and connecting, and that you get to serve in this area. I think the big thing that's really going on right now is that you all are also allowing people to come in and volunteer at different levels, including women, which I thought was really an interesting effort.
Sure, we have teams all over the place. We have administration team, like where we're pushing all the paperwork and working on all the mortgages and the financial end of things and the logistic end of things. To we have our construction team. Those are our people out there in the trenches, as it were, building these homes literally from groundbreaking up, we are making these houses happen. And then we have our teams in our restores as well, which are fabulous to go to. And I always joke that I was, as a thrift lover, that's kind of a dangerous position for me to be in, to be working for a company that has thrift stores. Because whenever I go out there, I'm like, oh, I should go shopping. But back to our team, we have our teams in our restore that keep those running, which is a fantastic way that Habitat for Humanity raises money, is through the sales of items that people donate to these restores. And it's really fantastic. So we've got teams in different places, lots of people doing lots of things. We have specific people that are part of our affiliate that are in charge of organizing our volunteers. So if you come in and you say, hey, I want to be a part of Habitat, how do I do this? We have a person for that, our volunteer manager, and they get things rolling on their end. We have our family partners that work closely with our family partner managers, and they help them the process of getting a home as well. So we have a lot of people that are making this magic happen.
I really loved on the website seeing the range of people that you all are wanting to serve. Obviously, children is a big component, making sure children have a safe place to live with parents, and people needing a place to live to take care of their senior parents, or all the different elements of what this organization is willing to do and the journey that people have this opportunity. And I think it'd be very interesting,
Mhm.
even though people could look it up, but to just hear you talk about a little bit of how this journey works for somebody that just comes and knocks on the door and says, hey, I need a house. I need a place to live.
Sure. And you really touched on something is like weird. Every walk of life has a need. Sometimes people look at seniors and, oh, they have retirement, they have it together. That, and especially here in Marion County, there's a huge need for senior housing, a huge need. There's a large housing inequality gap that's happening right now. And of course, we feel very passionately about making sure that each child has a safe place to live. In fact, probably around 90% of the families that we serve are actually single mothers. That's a
Mhm.
large majority of the families that we're getting, single mothers with children that just need an affordable, safe place for their children. The process itself can be a bit daunting. So I always encourage everyone to, first of all, take a deep breath. We're here to help you in any capacity that we can. And you're going to come, you're going to ask for help. You're going to give us a call. You're going to go outside of your comfort zone and be like, I need to take a step to improve my life, to improve the life of my spouse or my children, or if it's just you. And that in itself is a whole lot. And after you've taken that first step, we're going to start talking you through things. On that link you'll see on our website, it's going to list all the things that you need to get the ball rolling, what you need to qualify to get into one of our houses. And sometimes when you get going through that list, you want to pull your hair out. You might want to cry just a little bit, or you might not even know where to start. We don't want you to get upset. We don't want you to get frustrated. We will help you step by step through all of this. And if you take a look at something on the list of requirements that we have to get you into a home and you say, I don't have good credit, that's okay. How can we help you get to a place where you do have good credit? We want to give you financial literacy. We want to give you credit counseling. We want to get you there. This is, how people say no one's going to handhold you through life. Well, Habitat for Humanity is going to handhold you through this phase of your life, and we're going to get you to where you need to be. Because it can take a lot for a human being to step back and look at somebody else, especially as an adult, and say, I need help. I need assistance. I don't know what else to do. We don't want people to feel any type of way about that. So there's lots of things that we're going to go through and talk you through and work you through. When we do have different requirements, like I mentioned, the credit score, based if you're retirement age or not, you need to be working at a job and have longevity there, different things along those lines. But there's lots of different ways that we can assist to get you into a home.
Amazing.
It really is incredible. And it's so life changing as well. And when you think about giving someplace a place to live, sometimes people don't think, okay, well, what does that mean? That means that maybe right now you don't have a consistent place to live, which means maybe you don't have a laundry room. So maybe you can't wash your clothes and have clean clothes to go to school. And because your clothes don't smell nice, you don't feel like going to school because you're embarrassed. So maybe now you're skipping class. Maybe now you're failing school. Now you're getting into more problems and more problems and more problems. Or very simply having a door to lock at the end of the night to know that you and your family are safe. It means so much. A stove to cook food on, so perhaps you and your family, maybe you've been having to stay in a hotel, a tent, different things because you're not able to afford housing right now, that you're not getting the proper nutritious meals that you need. And that's impacting your health negatively. There's just so many little things that when you really look at it, proper and adequate housing is vital to your mental and physical health. It really is.
Absolutely. And I like the idea that you're not accepting people that are 100% ready when they walk in the door. Otherwise, they don't get accepted. You all are working people through a series of things to get them to a place where they can have a home. And I think that is such a fantastic thing when somebody can own a home and that there's a journey on it. Do you have a particular story that just struck you as the most joyful or surprising or however you want to share it?
I think one of the happiest things that I got to see is we recently did a house blessing. So once your house is complete and it's ready to be moved into, we do something called a house blessing. We invite you, invite your
Oh,
friends, invite your family, invite your pastor, your rabbi, whoever it is that you want to be there. And the community all comes together, the people who worked on the house, we come together, we lay hands on the house, we lay hands on the people, and we do a house blessing, and it's really great. And we did two homes right next to each other. One was a project that we called Women Build, where we have women come out specifically and they help build a home. And we did another one right next door to it. It's called a Realtor Build. And we had fabulous realtors from Marion County come and help build this home as well. So they're neighbors, which is really cool too. You get built-in friends essentially. And wasn't a few weeks, it was a few days before Christmas that we got both of these families in. And of course, everybody's over the moon, everybody's crying. They were all extremely excited to be getting a new home. These kids were all getting their own bedrooms. Like, this was
wow.
huge. They were so excited they couldn't even see straight. But on top of that, somebody donated bicycles to the kids. So while they were all standing out front of the house, we came up behind them with all their bikes, and they were just the joy on their faces. There's nothing better than seeing kids happy and kids excited, especially to get out on their bikes and ride around and just have a good time. It was just wonderful to see. It really made me feel extremely happy.
Thanks for joining. And before we continue, I want to pause for a moment. The Let's Share podcast is part of Have a Need a Ministry, and we exist to shine a light on the incredible work nonprofits and others are doing in our community. If this conversation is inspiring you, would you consider supporting the podcast? Even a small donation helps us to share these stories. You can give directly through the link in our show notes or on our website. Every gift makes a difference, and together we're fueling impact. Let's continue. It's a beautiful thing to celebrate because I'm sure the journey, what would you say the average time is for the journey for somebody that steps into working with
It really
Habitat
de-
for Humanity?
It really depends. I don't want to put hard deadlines on any of it because it varies. It varies just on, how long is it going to take to get wood in for this house right now? All kinds of things. So our families could be with us for a year. Our families could be with us for 2 years. It just depends on what we have going on. It depends on what our wait list looks like. It depends on where we're building the homes because we don't want to just stick people into places that's going to rupture their whole lives. So like I had mentioned before, it's kind of different where we get the land from. So there's no saying, hey, we're going to build here next, here next, here next, here next. It all depends on when we're getting the land. And sometimes people have their kids in school and they don't want to take two or three kids out of their school in their neighborhood. So they want to wait for something that's going to be closer to the area that they are already in. So it really depends on a lot of factors.
Yeah, I think that's really helpful. And honestly, when you said 1 or 2 years, I thought that was actually pretty short based on some of the things that you're talking about in the
Yeah.
journey and, helping people build their credit, making sure that certain things are coming into place. And really, even people that are thinking about buying a home, it could take that long just to do it without that kind of support. So I think that's pretty amazing that you all work in that time frame.
Absolutely. And a lot of it, I go back and accredit it to our volunteers who come out there and are working on these job sites as well and putting in a lot of time, effort, and energy into getting these homes where they need to be. And I really attribute that to all of the fabulous volunteers that come out and help us build these homes. We have a fantastic construction team, but they're no miracle workers. So every volunteer really helps us push forward and get those families into homes even faster. And mind you, and I'd like to reassure people as well, we have contractors and all of our people too that go back behind and make sure that everything is good. No shade to our volunteers as well, but I don't want you to think we're just handing people hammers and say, man, hope that stays up. This is all goes through any rigorous process that any home getting built would go through. And these are quality homes. And I think that's one thing that I would like to help to debunk in my time here with Habitat for Humanity as well, is sometimes people get ideas in their heads and they decide, well, this is how it is. And I think maybe around Habitat for Humanity, sometimes people think these aren't quality homes, or that we're just handing homes out like Oprah, look under your seat, everybody gets a house. And that's just simply not the case. Our families have to put a lot of work, like we talked about, all the requirements to get in. They have to put in a lot of work into these homes and into themselves. Each person that comes in to get a home puts 350 hours of sweat equity into physically building their home, into volunteering at our restores as well, and helping us at our different events. So they're literally putting their sweat and love into this. And that's one of our requirements, that you have to make yourself available to do it.
When you circle back and say these are some single moms, I think that is so impressive that you have a lot of single moms in your realm that do this. That's amazing.
Yeah, these moms are finding babysitters, after care programs, whatever they can, working full-time jobs, coming to our events, working on building their houses. Super moms, truly. It really hits home with me because I'm also a single mother, but I just so happen to have a good built-in support network. You know, some people get lucky that way in life and some people just don't. And I like to picture ourselves at Habitat as their support network, as their family. We call everybody family. That's why we have family partners, and we're very focused on it because that's what we want it to feel like. We want you call our office all day long with little questions and we want to answer them. Like, hey, the kitchen sink broke. And we're like, okay, well, let's walk you through it. Remember what we learned and when we taught you, because we go over a lot of that as well in maintaining your own home, in having a home. Where sometimes I've heard several people in the office talking to somebody who called to pay their mortgage, but they ended up having a bad day at work and they just need to vent to somebody. And we're going to listen to you because we want to be that support network for you. Again, it takes a village. It really does.
That's amazing. And just to let you know, another thing we have in common, and more than a couple decades ago, I was a single mom too. So I do
Were you?
understand. Yes, I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt too.
Oh, yeah.
And I do understand how challenging it is. But I remember also thinking, when can I own a home? And God worked it out for me in a different way, but
Mhm.
He will also work it out for people that continue to walk in the path that you all are providing. And I think that's what's really important. And I was thinking about this and thinking about what would be an interesting scripture. I asked AI, what would be an interesting scripture about Habitat for Humanity? And it came up with Psalm 127:1. Unless the Lord builds the house, the builders labor in vain. And I thought that was
That's so
great.
perfect. That
You know,
really is perfect. And that really ties into our mission statement, which is seeking to put God's love into action. And so that's what we're all about. What we're trying to do on earth is that. It's just we want to be the change that we want to see. We want to help create the neighbors that we would want and that we want to be as well. Quite literally building your community. And I think there's really nothing better than that.
absolutely. And there's a ripple effect of even building the house and people having a home and for their families and whatever they're doing over time. It's just an amazing ripple effect. And I'm sure that there are people that had theirs done 10 years ago that are so grateful and happy, and the ripple effect, perhaps even some turning back and contributing.
We do. It happens all the time. And it's such a nice support network as we have people who have gone through the process and people who have paid off their mortgages who are still coming back and volunteering and helping building other houses. Or maybe they're in a financial position now because they have 50 to 60% of their income isn't going to rent or a mortgage that's out of control, that they can now give back as well. And I think that's fantastic. In fact, we have one of our restore managers was one of our family partners, and she was living in a tent, She decided she was going to apply for her Habitat home. We got her in a home. Just a side note, she's one of the strongest, funniest, and just most incredible human beings. And she ended up coming and working for us a little while later. And now
Wow,
she's helping run one of our stores. And man, she runs a tight, organized ship, a tight, organized ship. She's fantastic.
that's amazing. And again, this is such an amazing ripple effect of the investment in these families, this community. And I was curious as you were talking about mortgage, what does a mortgage look like for somebody in Habitat for Humanity process?
So again, that's really going to depend on what the person is bringing in. But we're going to get you a reasonable mortgage that does not exceed 30% of your income.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so again, it's going to look a little bit different for everybody, and it also depends on the lenders we're working with and things like that. But they're very reasonable. It's what I wish everybody's mortgage would look like, reasonable.
Yes.
And it's such a huge problem, and we just want to keep building more and more homes. In fact, our goal this year is to build twice as many homes as we did last year, and we're on track for it because more and more people need this, and we need more and more family partners as well. So we really want to encourage people to apply. And I think, again, spreading the message, debunking myths that may be around Habitat for Humanity, or taking a little bit out of the apprehension of just taking that step and applying, which is really big, and just do it. You'd be very, very surprised. And like I said, we have about 90% of this are single mothers, younger mothers. We just got a little bit older couple that came in. He's an Army vet. We're very excited about that. We're going to be doing a veteran build this year, which, what was the saying you said, when things are serendipitous or,
Coincidences are God's little miracles.
well, this year is the United States of America's 250th birthday. Going into our 250th home that's going into production is going to be our Army veteran and his lovely wife.
That is such a God thing. It really
Isn't
is.
it?
Oh my goodness. How exciting.
Our affiliate has been around since 1989. Habitat for Humanity has been around since the 70s, but our affiliate here in Marion County has been since 89. So we couldn't plan this. It wasn't like, hey, let's bump up house 249 and just go to 250. Like, this has been timed out, exactly starting production on our 250th home.
Absolutely is a miracle. Thank you so much for sharing that because I think this is a wonderful season to celebrate the service to our country and the fact that our country's been around for 250 years. And the idea that Habitat for Humanity, that's been serving so many people, is coincidentally serving a veteran.
We should just paint the whole thing red, white, and blue, I think. I don't know what we should do.
I think you're on point there for sure. And I think it'll be really also great to know from your perspective, how is Habitat for Humanity in Marion County in the social media realm? What are some places where people could start following or know the website location, things like that? Can you share some of that?
Sure. Well, we love some social media. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. We have multiple pages on Facebook. We have some for our restores, for our Strawberry Festival, our regular just Habitat for Humanity of Marion County. You can find us on there as well. Our website is habitatocala.org. So you can hop on there. You can find all of our information, where to email us, where to call us. And we have some really simple links on there as well if you want to go ahead and fill out your application or read up on it some more.
That's wonderful. And I love that you were bringing up something that I know you all do annually. And so we can talk about this podcast. And even if somebody listens to it 3 years from now, this is going to be relevant. You have the upcoming Strawberry Festival. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yes. So excited. This is my very first one. We've been doing this. This is our 12th one. So like you said, we've been doing this for many, many, many years. So that's coming up on March 7th. And again, it's an annual event where we eat and sell lots and lots and lots of everything: strawberry shortcakes, regular strawberries, strawberry pie. People are so excited about this. We've had a lot of vendors who have been coming for years and years, and they make strawberry things specifically for this event. I was just talking to one lady today about the strawberry ice cream she's going to be making to serve there. We're going to have some people are making strawberry muffins and strawberry cupcakes. So it's going to be a great time. We have live music and it's free. Come in, hang out. We're going to have tons of vendors there. We've got a car show going on. We've got it all. And it's all the proceeds from it go into building a house. Funds that we raise at the Strawberry Festival go into what we call our Strawberry House. So we have our
Oh,
Strawberry House, which I think is super cute.
that's very cute. And what is the specific location that we'll be at this year?
This is going to be at the McPherson Complex in Ocala, Florida. So it's a big one. It's a really big event. We've got about 250 vendors there. It's going to open up at 9 o'clock. We end around 5 p.m. And it's just going to be a great time. It's a really family friendly event. We have a huge kids zone, so let those kids go eat all the sugar they want, bounce in the bounce houses till they're ready to pass out and take a nap, and then mom and dad can stroll them around in a stroller and shop at the vendors. And we also have a food court there where we're selling lots of good things. And when you do purchase food from our Habitat food court, again, that's another way that we raise money. And it all goes back into building houses.
That is so wonderful. And what a great investment for someone to have fun
Mhm.
and at the same time being investing in the community. And there's a benefit for somebody through this. And I think that's a fantastic effort. And just so wonderful that this has been going on for years. And this is not something that everybody would know about because there's so many new people coming into this community. So I think it's the second fastest growing city in the country right now. So
Last time I
interesting.
checked, it's incredible. The
Yeah.
roads literally can't keep up with us right now, which
Yes.
I know the counties are struggling with trying to build roads as fast as people are coming in. But I think it's just a testament to how wonderful Marion County is as well, that so many people are relocating to this area. It's just a great
Wonderful.
place, and we're
Yeah.
happy to be a part of it and make it as amazing as we possibly can, one house at a time.
Well, I think it's really a wonderful effort, and it's a great time for us to be talking about this because of the event coming up and also because it's the beginning of the year. And
Mhm.
there are people probably thinking through, I either want to give, so there's some place that I would like to give to that could make a difference, and this is an organization for that. And it could also be that it's somebody that has a need and
Mhm.
they had not either considered this or had thought that there was one in Marion County. Or maybe
Yep.
they just didn't realize that maybe wherever they are, whoever's listening to
Mhm.
this, there is one in your county somewhere. The idea behind it is that this is something to consider for giving and receiving because this sharing makes a huge difference. Because when people have a stable place to live, it does impact the community for the best, more so than
Absolutely.
people not having that. And I
Mhm.
would love to hear anything you have to say on that.
It really is statistically what people contribute back financially to the economy when they have a home as well is incredible. I don't want to say a number out loud because I don't know the number for sure, but it's really an impressive figure when you sit back and think about, again, oh, it's just a house. No, it's not. And when they get into that home, they are going back into their community and they're able to give back financially just through a job, when they're paying taxes on this home, paying their mortgage and things like that. And it's helping economically grow your area. What they're putting back into the economy in their neighborhood, it's huge. It's such a big impact. And what we're doing too, by people getting into these homes, they pay off their mortgages. Now they're creating generational wealth because that home is theirs. They're passing it on to their children who also get a home. And it's just incredible. Owning a home is an incredible financial tool. It can be, unless you're drowning in a mortgage that is too expensive, which is, again, where Habitat for Humanity comes in and make sure that that's not the situation for you. So you can live your life. So you can go paying all this money to renting a hotel room or paying on a high rent in an apartment that doesn't even fit your family in it. And you don't have that disposable income to go out and put back into your community. But now that you have an affordable place to live, now you do. And that's another way that they can contribute to their community's economy.
And I think it's very interesting. I read an article this morning, and it wasn't about Marion County, but it was in South Florida, and how people down there are paying 55 to 58% on their mortgage for a house. And they're saying that rent is actually a percentage or two cheaper. So it's sometimes renting is better down there. And to me, that's a big component that you guys are doing the 30% because that really has always been in a budget for somebody. It should be 30 to 35% max, but that is not the world that we're in right now. So I'm so grateful that you all are definitely doing something to get people in the right track for affordability.
Yeah, it's so frustrating to me, and it's something that I think about a lot, not just being a single mother, but just as a person who just wants to live their life day to day. But a lot of people end up in a situation like living in South Florida. I lived down there for many years, and now I'm like, I could never afford to go back down there. It's
Mhm.
insane. And a lot of people end up being what we would call house poor. I can afford to turn on the lights and have the roof over my head, and that's where that ends. And then you end up working 2 to 3 jobs, leading to burnout, leading to dysfunction in your household, all kinds of things. I mean, the fallout is endless. The more donations that we get in, the more people who have the heart to come to Habitat and be a part of this, the more affordable homes that we can build in our communities and keep them affordable, which is what we want. So we're quite literally building the future in a sense of let's get back to a more reasonable place where everybody can afford to live. And it's nice to be a part of an organization that we're working towards that.
I think it's fantastic. And I really appreciate us having this opportunity to have this conversation. And I just encourage, again, anybody that's been listening to this, pray for this organization. If you're not in Ocala, it's all over the place. So you can pray for it there where you are. But just hearing the big picture of how this organization serves so beautifully, Habitat for Humanity is definitely giving something that is so wonderful, but they're receiving help and support from volunteers, from giving. And that is so amazing. Is there anything else that you would like to share before we close out?
I think I got to get the message out, which I deeply appreciate you for, because the more that people know about Habitat and what we do from the inside out, the better. So you have no idea what a gift this is for us to be able to get on other people's platforms and be able to talk about Habitat for Humanity and what it does for our community. So thank you very, very, very much for having us on.
Well, thank you so much. And in Jesus' name, I pray that all this is just going to go fantastic this year and that it's going to continue to be an organization that gets all the resources that's needed to serve all the people that have needs. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your time listening to this Let's Share podcast. Our hope is that you receive some inspiration to give and receive because giving plus receiving equals sharing. If you want to learn more about Have a Need a Ministry, go to haveaneedaministry.com. Look forward to connecting soon.